I'm ready to.
And well, we're live.
Great.
Great. Hello there, Chick Chat. We're back with Sinking Sister Wives, Season 6, Episode 10. But there's a lot to talk about today. So this might be a little bit longer of a evening for us. So we figured we'd just do a live.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we're here. We want to talk with you all. It's Sunday. I mean, evening by now, but yeah, we're gonna kick things off with the bonus scenes from last episode at first. If you guys were here last episode, you will remember that we're gonna have to kind of do the bonus scenes in a backwards fashion. And I also looked because today is Sunday and technically they're supposed to do the bonus scenes, I thought, on Saturdays. So yeah. I looked. So I thought we'd have some bonus scenes for this episode and last episode, but it looks like they actually drop them in batches of 2 or 3 episodes at a time on Saturdays. And they dropped them last Saturday, so I'm thinking it's going to be at least another week, if not 2. So I'll have to. It's really dumb. I don't know why. Sister Wives has it on a consistent release schedule, but this is not the same. So I don't know. I'll keep my eye on them. I'll take pictures of them. I'll bring them to you as they come. But right now I just have the ones from last episode. So we're going to start with those. We're going to wait for maybe 1 or 2 people to hop in, maybe more. And then we are going to also talk about Garrick's arrest before we get into the actual episode because duh.
Because what a week.
Because what a week. I mean, I'm really glad that we started covering this because it really has been quite the week, especially with the Garricks. I mean, we have a birth recently. We had a secret pregnancy for a while that we got to talk about. Now we have this arrest. So the Garricks are really keeping us busy. So actually, speaking of the Garricks, they are the ones that get the very first bonus scene from the last episode. This is right after their wedding. And we learned that this guy is the owner and chef. We didn't know who the hell he was. I think he said his name was Robert, but he's the owner and chef there. He was very excited, obviously, to see them as we saw in the initial scene. But he's very complimentary to the women and he calls them cute. He also calls them, I think, sexy and cute. And then he's really complimentary to Garrick as well because of the whole situation, obviously, that's going on. And they ask him a little bit, about his culture and if anybody ever does that in his culture, has multiple wives and things like that. And he says, only in my dreams do I have multiple wives. He said, I had a dream one time that I had 10 wives, but that his wife is really the one that's in charge. So she would never allow that kind of thing to happen, basically. So he's looking at these people like they're, the unicorns that they are out in public. And he was really excited. They are. The Garricks. We got that from a follower. Do you remember her name?
I don't, but she was in our first live about this. So shout out to you. I forget.
We have to give her the credit. Yeah.
Pregnancy.
But that's their name from now on. So even Mr. Garrick himself was extremely excited to meet this man. He called him incredible. He was just feeling really, really alive by the whole situation. What I thought was interesting was that he said he really lightens the mood. And I'm like, dude, you just got married. What do you need to lighten the mood for?
Well, Danielle was there.
I know that your wife was outside sobbing. So there is a need, but yeah. His outfit is just, especially considering the fact that this man was just sitting in jail just 48 hours ago or whatever. To dress like a whole cowboy on your wedding day, what a look, what a choice.
What a choice. I know they're in Colorado, but I don't know if that's like infamous with cowboys. Not like Texas or... I
don't think really. Even Texas, it's like, that's kind of a stereotype, isn't it? People don't really walk around like that, do they?
Not that I've seen, but
I didn't think so.
Might depend where you're at, if you got a ranch or something. But yeah, this is just a lot. The bow tie isn't that what those are called? Bow ties or whatever.
I don't know what they're called. Something. This little thing with
cow tie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they are, but Yeah, I think they're cowboy-esque.
Do you think they told Lorena that they're cowboys? Like, they could have told her anything. Yeah.
I mean, they live out in the country, and she was surprised about all of that. They probably could pass as cowboys to somebody who doesn't understand. But even people outside of the US have seen Westerns, I mean, this is a small
at her
town.
age. I don't even think she's 30.
I mean, I'm
Or
not
she
saying I've
might be
watched a
30.
Western, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Yes. So this is when they hop back into the regular scene. We also get the second bonus scene with the Garrick. So this is a very Garrick heavy beginning of the episode, which is interesting because the episode that we're actually covering today only features them at the very end. So this is the scene. It's a little bit of an addition to the scene where Danielle is meeting with Garrick. Is it Garrick's sister, right? That's the girl. I think her name's Jennifer. I can't remember. Either way, she's meeting with Garrick's sister. Pretty much the only thing that we get out of this bonus scene is obviously Danielle is recalling more about how her piece of paper doesn't mean anything now that they have a piece of paper, and she keeps referring to it in that piece of paper like way. But what she does say is that she hopes that at some point either they can all get married or that none of them can be married, because she doesn't like the fact that they have to have this piece of paper, as she calls it, in order for Lorena to be able to stay in the country. So she says, I like that she's here in the US and that they can do that with this piece of paper. But since we can't all have a piece of paper, I want it to be either everyone has it or nobody has it.
Well, I mean, it's just, why don't you guys just look in the United States then?
I completely agree. And it's like, I think that they have to choose, and this I think will really easily lead into Garrick's arrest, but I think that they have to choose between having a whole bunch of control over somebody or Danielle being able to have some control in her
Or
life.
they could have pulled a Davis and Danielle could have married Lorena.
But Danielle was also, they would have had to be divorced either way. But you're right. That would have equalized them, I guess, in Garrick's eyes.
Possible.
And they were divorced already before Lorena came along. So, yeah,
I guess
that's true.
Maybe it's just the K-1 visa thing. Like, obviously, if she was in the United States, it wouldn't really make a difference. But I guess with the K-1 visa, they kind of have to prove the marriage is legit. And the marriage between them two wouldn't be as legit.
I think it would be definitely a lot more scrutinized for sure. They do have a relationship, right? But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Delulu Danielle is so sadly clouded by her captor. Yeah. And that is more and more Joe proving to be true. So, yeah, let's go back to Garrick in his cowboy suit while we talk about his arrest.
Yeah, we might as well. Let's get this part. Get this part in. It's been quite the eventful week.
I have an article we can look at, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. We've had quite the eventful week. I think it was maybe 2 days before Thanksgiving, that Monday or Tuesday or something. News broke that Garrick was arrested for domestic violence, misdemeanor as well. I think they're two separate things, but I'm not sure. But apparently he threatened to deport Lorena, according to TMZ. Yeah. And he also turned off, got her phone out of her hand and then also turned off the Wi-Fi. So I'm guessing that after he took her phone, she tried to contact her family with like an iPad or maybe the police or something, maybe an iPad or the computer of some kind. So he turned off the Wi-Fi, and that is against the law. You can't prohibit, like you can't stand in the way of somebody calling 911 or trying to get help from, that's isolation. Especially in her case, I would think, because she doesn't have anybody. She's literally in the United States by herself with now her daughter that is less than a year old.
Right.
I mean,
It seems like what kind of started this all off was that she was trying to just talk to her family while they were in an argument.
mm-hmm.
And that sort of escalated into the taking the phone, the cutting the Wi-Fi. Like, it seems like he continued to escalate the situation too, which I think shows that this is kind of scary. It seems like, at least the way TMZ is presenting it, and we'll have to wait and see, I guess, what happens. But it seems like the way TMZ is presenting it is like Garrick could have had multiple times to stop what he was doing and recognize, but instead he kept like revving it up. He took her phone away. He snatched her phone away. Then it says Lorena told him that she wanted to call the police, but he wouldn't give her phone back. And then he threatened her. And then he said, yeah, that when she was searching about how to contact law enforcement, he cut out the Wi-Fi on her. So he continuously, escalated this instead of taking any kind of route. So to me, I think that is even more dangerous, that this wasn't just a heated argument and something happened, which doesn't excuse it. But once in a while, we do lose control of our emotions. But this was something where it was like he just kept making it worse. I mean, that had to have been incredibly scary to not really still be familiar. I mean, she was just talking in this latest episode about how she was worried about being pregnant and not knowing English and all of this. Just having a baby, being a couple of months postpartum?
At least, yeah, because she had the baby in July, so you're still very much in postpartum.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what she had to have been really, really scared. I wonder, I think this is how she got a hold of police. I wonder that as well, or if somebody else maybe called police on her behalf.
Possible.
Have you heard anything about that, Anne?
I assume that at some point when the Wi-Fi maybe came back on, or maybe it just kind
she
of kept
used somebody
continuing.
else's phone.
Sure, because she doesn't really know anybody. It seems like their house is in the middle of nowhere, so I don't know if a neighbor could have heard her screaming. I highly doubt Danielle would have called the police. She probably just watched everything.
Right, but she could have found someone else's phone and called police.
Right.
Because like deactivating the Wi-Fi, I think just deactivates her ability to contact her family. But I mean, her phone is still going to call out, especially to 911.
She must have got a hold of her phone or some phone because, yeah, I mean, the service will still be there. She could even still call her family, but at that point, things had escalated to where she's scared.
Or maybe she even reported this after the fact. I mean, not like weeks later, but maybe the next day. Like maybe, like you said, once she got her phone after a little while, she went and made the report. I don't know. That is a really good question.
I mean, it is quite convenient that these people go for somebody vulnerable like her. Like, I'm going to take them out of their country, not learn their language, force them to learn English. They don't know the laws here. And then something like this happens. Like, these are predatory people, in my opinion, because they don't even, it's very rare that they find somebody in the US. And then once they do, they don't last very long. Like,
I keep going back, and I'm still kind of new to the show, but I've watched a lot of the reviews, especially on the Garricks. But I could not figure out if they're just really stupid or if they're really calculated. And for them, it's hard to tell because they act so spacey, and like the fumbling the bag and stuff with like the Lorena's prenup and all of that. It's like, it's hard to tell in those moments if they are genuinely just ignorant or if they're really calculated about doing this and sort of putting the pressure on at the right time and stuff like that. I really genuinely cannot tell. Sometimes I still don't really know, but seeing this going on, especially knowing the control that he put upon her and taking away all of her stuff in this moment, tells me a lot about his inner character, that he does seek control over peace. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was actually smarter than he looks. They are really stupid. See, I think they're really stupid too, but it's like, I don't know how. I know there's a lot of worlds where two things can be true, but I don't know how they can simultaneously be really dumb and have it just work out in their favor in this way that they can control a whole human.
I think there are certain parts that they are doing like as manipulation, like getting somebody vulnerable outside of their country, away from their family. I think that those things are calculated, but I do think that they're stupid in other areas. Like they don't know nothing about this paperwork. They've been doing this for 6 years and they didn't understand to get the prenup ready. It's like they never actually planned to get married to any of the other ones or something.
Right.
Which she was about to have a full ceremony in Brazil for what's her name, Natalia.
Yeah.
So what would they have done then? They didn't have a prenup written up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like they're calculated in that they sort of know who they can control, but beyond that, yeah, they're pretty dumb.
So, beyond that, they haven't thought that far.
Right. I mean, even with this pregnancy that we're about to see a little smidge of, they've clearly not thought this far. And I don't expect people to know how they're going to feel if they've never been in a situation, but I do expect Danielle to have thought about it a little bit more or have maybe a positive mindset going into it. I mean, we didn't see that at least at the end of this episode. Maybe we'll see that more, but gosh, this is going to be really hard to watch the rest of their season knowing what's going on. I mean, I feel like we're just going to go through it with such a fine-tooth comb, and of course, you know, they present the Garricks in a generally pretty positive light. I mean, they get a pretty good edit, so everything with Lorena was too fast. Yeah, I mean, that is what was said at the end of the episode, really, between both of them. Both Lorena and Danielle were talking about that. And I do agree with that, but Anne and I were talking before we went live, and I kind of have a different perspective too, where they really got duped by Roberta. And so everything took a really long time because Roberta made it take a really long time. But Lorena, for the most part, at least seems like she's invested and wants to be there. So it's like they've done the paperwork just as it, you know, was available to them and came available. So yes, it did happen fast, but I think it's also just happened kind of on pace with how it's supposed to happen too. The pregnancy was fast. That was completely unnecessary.
Oh, yeah. They met her in like 2024, I want to say, brought her over in end of 2024, you know, like October, September-ish. And then, yeah, within 3 months of her being here, got pregnant. I do think part of that on their end is planned in manipulation, just because, you know, the faster you can get her to commit, the faster you can get her here, the less of a chance she's going to back out like everybody else has. Right. So, yeah, agreed. I felt like a trap. And she also seems very young. I don't know how old she is. And if y'all know, let us know in the chat, because I want to say she's around 30, but not 30. But maybe Brooke will look it up real quick how old she is. I think she's quite young.
My face, I'm looking it up.
Yeah. She's quite young. And I just, you know, obviously she doesn't know law. She doesn't know the language. They use this Google translator.
She's 29.
Still quite young.
Yeah.
Which means she would have met these people at like 27, 28.
Yeah. Yeah. Around there.
I mean, she got pregnant at 28, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And married, you know, pregnant and married all in the same year, all of that. I mean, it did happen really fast. I'm certainly not disagreeing by any means that it happened really fast. I think, but I also think for them and their perspective, Roberta gave them such a runaround that I just don't think they were prepared for things to happen along these lines. And yeah, I mean, Garrick has been wanting to have a baby since Roberta, and since like 4 women ago. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that this happened so quickly.
He's tried to get every single one of them pregnant.
He could have had 5 children already.
I honestly think the only reason that the one from Michigan didn't work out is because when he tried to sleep with her, she was like, no, I want to go slow. Like,
for somebody who has this ridiculous belief about women and how you can only, you know, do things with 5 men before you basically lose your mind, he really gets around. I mean, I know that he's engaged and committed to all these women, but are we really talking about an engagement being a commitment? If we've watched you on television get engaged to countless women, like more than I think this many, more than literally I can count on one hand. And every time you get engaged to these women, you call it a commitment and you sleep with them and you have all these beliefs about how we as women only have so many that we can do before we basically go.
He wants to be in that number no matter what.
Nuts, this guy. He's so dumb and also so manipulatively cunning.
I mean, obviously his motivation for all of this is lust driven. Like, it's not anything else.
Yeah. He's not.
He got bored with his wife, somehow convinced her this was a religious thing, which, like, the things he says, like this whole, like from the Bible or whatever, like the things that he says that he feels are religious, which is like, oh, that a woman can only have a man in her 5 times, like from 5 different men without losing the ability to love. Like, like those kinds of things. Like, Danielle either is desperate, which I think is the most likely option, or she's also a little bit unstable. But I just think she's a mixture of both. But I definitely think she doesn't want to lose this man. They've been together for 14 years. They're very intertwined. I've seen people in relationships of 2 years that feel so entangled that they can't get out. So she's willing to go through all this. She goes on all these trips, watches her husband get engaged, and then listens to him through the wall, have sex with another woman, and then cries about it. But then is, like, how many times has she gone through that? And now that's why she likes to piss the women off by bringing more women in. Oh, we're going to keep dating, even though nothing's actually solid between us and this other woman.
Right.
Make it make sense. But yeah, I wonder where she's at with all this, because I know that they deleted pictures and they are pretty much scrubbing the internet of Lorena. So I'm assuming that she is somewhere with Garrick and their kids, maybe an Airbnb or something, unless they got Lorena one.
That's what I'm assuming, because we did learn that Garrick is not allowed to be in the home. So my assumption would be that Lorena is at the home with their shared child. And we don't know where Danielle stands on this. As far as I know, she hasn't made none of them have made any kind of public statements. But the only thing that they have done that was public was take Lorena away from all of their social media platforms and, archive or delete all of those photos. So I'm assuming that means that Danielle is sort of siding with Garrick. But I mean, there could be a lot of reasons that she could be doing that don't mean that she's siding with Garrick. So we'll see. Oh, and froze and then she returned. Let's add her to the stage. Look,
I'm gonna keep having this issue. I think where my internet kicks me out. So
that's okay. I actually didn't even realize that you left until you were back. So her older kids must be so embarrassed. That is so true.
I wouldn't want nothing to do with this.
And where are her parents? Lorena's parents?
Or Danielle's parents? Well, Lorena's parents are in Brazil, obviously.
Yes.
And Danielle's parents do live at the house, right? In their own little wing.
Yes, they have like a house in the back. And they haven't, if I remember right, it's not that they're not supportive, but obviously they don't understand why they're doing this. Danielle, that's a very good question, especially considering that Garrick can't be there and that, I mean, there's no rules about where Danielle stays. So I just wonder where she's probably staying wherever she would prefer to stay. But it's like, what are the two of them going to sleep in the sister room while Garrick's gone?
I just wish that, I mean, like, I know everybody wants now, like, I see so many comments of take this show off the air, fire them, whatever the case is. I'm so nosy though. Like, I'm telling you guys, I want to see this play out. Like, I wish I hate when people get like taken off of shows when these kinds of things happen because
Agreed.
I'm nosy. I want to know the aftermath. I want to hear what they got to say.
I agree.
Like, I'm not one of those that's like, get rid of the whole show because no, I want to know. Like, how else am I going to know?
I feel the same way, definitely. And, you know, I know that there's an edit here and there's a spin on everything and people make money on being on these shows. But I think at the same time,
not a ton.
You're right. Mm-hmm. And I think at the same time, when people get taken out of the spotlight and go dark, that's when darker things get darker. I think it keeps people at least on appearances. I mean, Garrick can't do too much to these women considering that they have to be ready for television every so often. So I think it keeps things generally safe. It keeps the spotlight on them. It keeps us all invested in asking questions and caring about what's going on because we have short memories here in the pop culture world.
Yeah.
I want to see too. Yeah. I really hope that they don't end their story here.
Yeah, I'm never like, if y'all want to end them after we get an explanation, that's fine. But I need to know what's happening. Like, I bet
let's kind of wait on all of it. Let's let the public decide what they think about Mr. Garrick here. Let's not shy away from this. This kind of stuff happens. I mean, it's not, people shouldn't just be taken off of air because these kinds of things happen. I think, you know, post your little DV hotline or whatever after the episodes and call it a day. I mean, that's what you guys are going to do anyways. So
I know they got rid of the Snowdens for similar things, but I'm also on the same wavelength. I mean, I think they could have stayed an extra season to explain themselves, and then you can cut them off or get rid of them or whatever. But I'm one for like, let's see what they have to say. I'm curious to know the aftermath. I don't even know. Maybe TLC was already filming with them. Because I can only imagine. I mean, we saw how Danielle reacted to Roberta. This whole fight. Sister!
I know. Well, so that's what has me thinking. I'm genuinely concerned that, you know, a month or two or however long this court process takes to go by, I'm genuinely concerned that they're all going to get back together. It says at the end of this that Lorena did not want the police to be involved.
Yeah. And well, I wonder if that's for a couple of reasons. Like, maybe she didn't see the fight as that bad, although she did want to call police to like calm everything down. Or maybe she just doesn't know the law and she didn't want to get herself in trouble. So
yeah, I can see that as well. But I think a lot of times too, and I think your points are super valid and we don't know. But I think a lot of times too, especially in DV types of cases, people take a while to get away.
Oh, yeah.
And especially somebody who might not be aware of what that cycle is like. I think it would take them a while to really learn that. So I'm worried that this says that she's not seeing what's going on for what it is yet, and that they may all end up actually back together. And if that's the case, then I absolutely want there to be cameras in their home.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. If we take them off air and these people stay together, you're just leaving her even more vulnerable for something to happen, and then nobody knows.
And listen, they're gonna do this anyways. They're at least the Garricks, maybe other people that are on this show, I don't know, but the Garricks, I think, were going to do this regardless of whether they were on television or not. I think they're going to seek sister wives and they're going to try to build their little commune and whatever. I don't think that they're doing all of this just to be on TV, but that's just my personal opinion. So
a lot of people think reality TV people get paid a ton of money. And I mean, I know at some point with Teen Mom, it got that way, but they had to be on air for a long time. Their original.
I'm sure the Garricks are probably one of the higher paid families if they don't pay them all the same. But you're right. It's not like they're not making a living off of this, especially there's 3 adults. There's 3-4 kids, several children.
There's her parents living there. His business, what they say, is actually profitable. Most of these people have jobs. Yeah. I mean, it's because you can't just rely on the couple $1,000s an episode that you get.
Right.
That's probably in there. You know, they're probably only making so much an episode.
Right.
That could be like $1,000 or whatever. And in this economy, that money don't go far. Yeah. I don't think they're getting paid a ton. It's not like they're multimillionaires off of this show or anything. I want to see what happens. And I'm curious to know what's going to happen next. I mean, we did see that he's out on bond. So I'm guessing that was our friend Danielle over here getting him out on bond. And
is it his brother that he works with, or
that man is so mad.
He's mad, but he is also his business partner. So his business is not going to do well when his business partner is locked up.
It ain't going to be doing well at all right now, I don't think, you know?
I agree. I mean, I would hope for the sake of their business that they probably try to keep Garrick really in the background so that it doesn't affect their business. But
yeah,
if they haven't been doing that, then yeah, they're going to really be wanting to do that now.
Yeah, this was Danielle's brother's worst nightmare. I mean, for one, to have all this public.
Yeah.
You know, because the DV is horrible in itself, but then to have it public that it's not, now he's synonymous with your business because people are going to know.
Right.
They're going to see that dirty little hamster face on the little postcards.
And regardless of what happens, you know, with their marriage, it's like there's things that are in the law's hands now. And so if they do end up getting divorced and this DV is brought into it, it's like, you know, there's a lot more that can be given to a partner who has been battered than a partner who just chooses to walk away because of differences or whatever. So yeah, I think Garrick is really, I mean, he's a dummy. Nobody should be putting their hands on anybody for any reason or cutting anyone's, you know, access to emergency services or anything like that. He's just a complete idiot. He had it so good.
Yeah. And how
is the prenup still valid? So Anna and I were talking about this as well. I mean, I think it could kind of go both ways. The way that the prenup was done was obviously rushed. So they were talking about how that could go against the validity of the prenup because it was super rushed. But at the same time,
and it's on TV as super rushed.
It is on TV as super rushed. But at the same time, according to them, they did get a translator so that they could have it translated for Lorena. And Lorena, from what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't rewatched the episode, but from what I remember, Lorena was also saying in her confessional, you know, I'm not interested in their assets. So this prenup really doesn't mean anything to me. I just want to build, you know, together in the future. Yeah. So I think it could go both ways. It could go as a defense. It could go as, you know, evidence that they were controlling her and pursuing this and rushing it. So I don't know what the validity of it is. I think it was technically valid when they got married. So I don't know what this really has to do with that.
I have heard that the fact that there is like DV involved with this, it kind of shows like abuse. So that could be why it could be not valid as well. Like maybe her saying whatever she said in that moment might not even matter, because once DV happens in one of these cases, especially when you're bringing someone to a new country to live with you, marry you, be a sister wife or whatever, it almost feels like I guess I'm trying to come up with the right words, but when you're doing all those things simultaneously at once, and then you also have this DV going on, not even like a year into the marriage or so, I mean, she's very vulnerable. So it could not work out in their favor. But do I think that Lorena's going to pursue it? I don't really think so. That would be up to her to pursue that. So I highly doubt that part. But do I think it's possible?
I think she would have to be the one to say, hey, this prenup that I signed is not valid. And I don't think she believes herself that it's not valid.
She don't know the basic laws around here. So yeah, I don't think that she would be the one to be like, I need to contest this. She doesn't have family or friends there that can be like, hey, you should go after him for this or that. But what I did see is that depending on like what Garrick has signed, which let me pull that up. If he signed the I-864, which is a binding federal contract, which I think they sign along with like these visas and marriage certificates and things like that. He remains financially responsible for her until one of these happens. So either she becomes a U.S. citizen, she works and earns 30 quarters, about 10 years of work credits. She permanently leaves the U.S., she dies, or he dies. So he's responsible for her for a while. And that's like
10 years, or she leaves, or death.
And he more than likely signed that because a lot of times I think when you bring in somebody for another country, someone has to be responsible for them in case of whatever they do here. It's almost like having a co-signer.
Right.
So, yeah. But if he didn't sign that.
Yeah, and we don't know what the implications of having a domestic situation between those two people, what that would do to that document. Just like we don't know what that would do to the prenup, just like we don't really know if the prenup was valid in the first place, but they considered it valid. They all decided that it was valid enough when they got married. So I think that is probably where it will stay. In my suspicion.
Let's say that he did sign an I-134, which is a lighter version of like a support form or whatever. And then usually the I-864 is signed afterwards. So like one probably before the marriage, one afterwards. And so in most cases, yes, he is financially responsible. So,
I mean, he has a child with her at this point as well. So he's married to her on paper. He has a biological child with her who is a citizen. He's signed this documentation, bringing her into the country. He's, there's all of these things that have them tied together. And I think him having a DV case involved in this doesn't void any of that. I think he's still just as responsible as he was the day before all of this happened. So I don't know what's going to happen, especially because I don't know where Lorena stands. I think she's smart to not be making public statements right now. She's probably going through enough anyways, but I don't know. For some reason, I just have a feeling like this is all going to blow over and they're going to be back together.
Probably. Well, if you think about it, the whole situation started because she wanted to contact her family. I'm assuming in an argument, which to me is very manipulative because obviously he didn't want her family telling her like that man sounds bad. He doesn't sound like you should be there. Maybe come back home or whatever the case is. So he was willing to do all of this anyways.
Yeah.
And now her family can see all this news, I'm sure, from Brazil. It kind of defeated the purpose of whatever he was.
That's what I was saying in the first place, where it's like he had all these points to sort of, take a left, take a walk, go somewhere else, do something else. But he just continued to escalate the situation. And it really makes all of us who are trying to figure out what happened, it makes him look terrible. I mean, he just kept making it worse. He took her phone, he cut the Wi-Fi, he threatened her, status of her citizenship. He threatened not just a person who he married and told that he would keep in the country the status of her citizenship, but a brand new mother who is postpartum, who has a brand new baby, who is a citizen. He threatened her citizenship. Like, I can't imagine how scared she must have been, and probably still is. And I'm sure all of that, again, is going to affect her decision-making process. And I just don't think she's going to get out this time. I think we're going to see her have to attempt this a few more times, unfortunately. But that's just my suspicion.
Right. All we know is at the moment, there's definitely some kind of protection order. Those are usually mandatory when something like this happens. So he can't be around her right now. She can't be around him. I don't know what Thanksgiving was like for these people. I don't know if Danielle and Lorena had to have Thanksgiving together with their children and no Garrick, or if what I'm assuming happened is that Danielle and Garrick had their Thanksgiving together and either put Lorena in an Airbnb with her kid or flip that around, So it's quite the mess. But I really hope that TLC is there to either capture it now or capture part of it. I mean, I can only imagine. I really want to see this play out next season. And not just because I'm nosy, but because I really I would like some answers. I mean, everyone wants these people to just go away. And it's like, no, we need to know what happened here.
Right. No, I completely agree. I hate it when people do that and everyone's like, get these people off the screen. It's like, I understand the sentiment there, but it's like at the same time, this already happened. I understand that you want to punish them, but let the justice system punish them. Let their shame and embarrassment of being on television punish them. Taking them off of the screen doesn't do any good for anybody. I don't think it does. I mean, I see both sides, but yeah, I don't. I hope that they continue to be showcased on TLC for a plethora of reasons, including Lorena's safety. So that's how I feel.
Yep. And then next episode, we'll see her find out she's pregnant. So yeah, like you said earlier, what a wild ride to watch this now and be like, but I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to think that she probably will stay with him, or at least stay with him for a while to try to figure something else out, because I mean, she's here by herself. She really doesn't have a lot going for her here. She might not be able to take this kid and run. I mean, the kid is a citizen. So she might have to figure something else out, because I think if she just took this kid and hopped on a plane right now, someone might come looking for her because they don't have any custody worked out. Then this kid is technically a U.S. citizen. So, but I think also in that same breath, if she does leave Garrick, she will have a better chance at staying here because her kid's a citizen. I mean, I don't think they're just going to up and deport her. Even if the 2 years doesn't work out, she can prove by photos and all kinds of things that this was a legitimate marriage for her. Now, I don't think she's on any bank accounts. I don't think she sees any money, but that's just me.
I mean, she could, I don't know how they do set their bank accounts up, but I don't know what else does she work? Do we know that?
I highly doubt it. Her and
then
Danielle,
she's got to have access to a card, or that would be another huge form of control either way, but especially if she doesn't have access to a bank account and she's not working and she has a newborn, that's basically kidnapping.
I mean, that's how I feel these people are. Like, someone said it somewhere that it's almost like human trafficking, because you're taking these people over. Yeah, was it LB? Okay, because you take these people over and then you control everything, from where they're sleeping, in our sister room to, like, she didn't even have her own room.
Yeah. No, again, like I keep going back and forth of, are they super ignorant and they have no idea, or are they completely cunning and calculated? It's
I mean, to not even have your own bedroom, like, Garrick can come in and out of, but the way that they set up this weird sister room, I think, was also manipulation of, they can never be alone. But other than their shower. On the
cunning and calculated end, yes, they can never be alone. They don't have access to their own things. They can't hide a damn thing. And someone always has access to their space. So they don't ever have even in their mind, a space where they feel private. There's no access to privacy. And that's definitely shmusive.
Yeah.
And on the other end, I mean, you see even Danielle is like, oh, well, maybe this wasn't a great idea for us all to do it this way and set it up this way. But, Garrick's the king of the castle.
That's just so weird to me.
And so it's like, okay, so you're just dumb then. Like, you built a whole house and you're just dumb. I never thought about not having their own room. Yeah, I mean, again, like, all of these things really can add up to sounding and looking really calculated, and yet they pull it off so well to look like they're just stupid. Garrick only thinks about his pencil. Yes. Holly Byrne, thank you.
Just like Cody Brown.
Just like Cody Brown.
Yeah. Well, the thing, like, he is in this master bedroom, right? And they're like, oh, well, he shouldn't have to go, room to room, even though, like, he's already getting everything he wants. This is all, like, actually motivated. So he's getting everything he wants anyways. And then the women, it sounds like, even clean up the sheets. Like, no, make this man.
They take care of everything, it sounds like. I haven't seen or heard of Garrick doing anything but surfing the online apps for more wives.
And looking like this.
All the time, like a
every time we see
idiot.
him.
It's insane. I just don't know how this goes on. And my terrible suspicion is that this will continue to go on. But I do hope that we're going to be allowed to keep covering it.
Yeah. Google Translate needs to be, making these people pay them monthly or something, because
honestly,
this is just quite ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 years and not a lick of Portuguese between the two of them. Crazy.
So, all right. Well, I think we do need to hop into the actual episode 40 minutes into the live. So please, all of you, stick around. We are going to get into episode 10, and the episode is entitled, What Does He Do for Work in Danielle? I know that Garrick for work, he's a contractor type of person, like a builder. And he owns a business. So
him and Danielle's brother are in business together, which is why we see a lot of on the show. The brother is always like, this is a stupid idea. Like, don't get, make sure there's a prenup, make sure there's this and that, because he's trying to protect himself along with his business.
His assets are connected in some way to the Garricks.
It sounds like their business does so well that Danielle doesn't do anything.
Sure. Or it's possible that maybe she does some administrative work or something on the side.
She probably works for the business in some way, maybe.
I know a lot of times that can happen. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Danielle does, but they do talk about Garrick working. And obviously at the end of this episode that we're covering, Garrick is away working. He's not working for money, he's helping, but he's doing the same stuff that he does do for money. So anyways, jumping into episode 10, it is entitled A Married Side Chick. And that is coming straight from Angelica's mother's mouth, which I'm excited to get into that scene when it happens. But first, we hop into the Williamsons, who are attending their second date with Randy.
Yes. And this date just kicks off aggressively almost. Because
agreed. I mean, this is how I like to see reality TV. I didn't need to really watch them play Jenga for 20 minutes before they got into this. I'm sure it took them a little bit of time. They did talk about, how are the kids and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as he was like, oh, they're getting so big, I was like, please spare me. And then they actually did spare me. So I was actually really excited that, she just hopped right on into things. And I'm enjoying Randy. I think she's cute. I think she's direct. I love that she just hopped on in and let BJ know. Can we call it Billie Jean BJ?
Sure.
And let BJ know how she was feeling. So that's what she got. She let her know, I wasn't even going to come and have this stupid meeting with you guys because of the way that you treated me last time. And I thought that was a little harsh.
Well, I think she wanted to be as blunt as, needed, I guess. So I wasn't even going to come here because of, your tude. And then that's when Reese gets up and is like, I'm going to the bathroom.
I know. And, they drop us off here and we do end up having to come back. But I just thought that the look on this man's face when she lets...
Terrified.
Yes. And it's like, later on, we're going to see Yessel and Dani navigate a situation with a potential. And the way that they talk about things, I actually gained a lot of respect for Yessel, because Dani said something about like, well, that's her problem. And Yessel said, no, this is an us problem. This is something we all need to tackle. And I think that Reese really needs to take a page out of Yessel's book, shockingly, because this is an all of you problem, especially if you're the one who's going to marry both of these women. Yes, they need to speak for themselves amongst themselves, but I don't think it's cool that he just hopped up and was like, you're on your own and you're on your own. I mean, Randy doesn't even know BJ. Like, barely met this woman. I mean, it's just, he should have been there as a support for both of them, to show them, I'm here to support both of you equally. Because Billie Jean and Reese just got done talking for a week or however long about how Billie Jean feels, and she got all that attention. And it's like, Reese, you need to be here equally supporting them. That's not cool.
Right. He was like, well, if we continue, they're going to need to have these conversations. So whatever.
Right. Right. Day says he might not be gay because I know he'd want to hear the scoop. That's very much true. So my husband heard and saw Reese for the first time while I was watching this episode, and he was shocked to see that this man was on a date with two women first and foremost. And then I could see his brain sort of processing. I don't like to hear things that are offensive in my home, even if it doesn't offend me.
Right.
And my husband likes to make fun of me about that too, in a loving way, like, oh, are you offended on behalf of somebody? And I'm like, yes, actually I am. So he's sitting there and I could tell he's trying to calculate what he wants to say about Reese, but not have an argument with me about it. And I was like, I gave him a minute and I was like, so somebody described him as like he would be in a play or something. And my husband's like, yeah, that's what he's like. Yeah. So,
I mean, he was in plays. So
yeah. Weren't we all shocked? We were. And I love to see a real time.
Well, and Reese has actually addressed these rumors, but with a Taylor Swift song. So I mean, take that as you will.
True.
I'm not sure if
I think that was intentional too, to use the Taylor Swift song, but
I don't know. A lot of straight guys like Taylor Swift, but
yeah,
might not have been the time to
use
her. I don't know. It is what it is. But I mean, he could just be a little bit. I mean, some guys just have a little bit of extra flamboyancy. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not a manly man, but definitely not during this date at all. He's
also not confrontational. He doesn't seem to be a leader. He doesn't seem to be any of that. I think he's going to have to work on this skill if he truly wants to be involved in a plural marriage polygamy type of situation. I understand that they all want to be equals, and again, they should be able to have this conversation, but I think Reese does need to be a part of it. It's not like it has nothing to do with him. So we'll hop back into that later on. But we do jump over to is it Peralta? Does anyone know exactly how to pronounce that?
Are you talking about Dani?
Dani and Yessel, yeah. Their last name is Peralta.
I just call them their first names.
Yes. So they're making a cake for Yessel to return home. And I mean, Dani is struggling. She's obviously having a hard time because she's anxious and anticipating the conversation she knows that she's going to have. But she's also just seems to really not be enjoying what's going on in her household. I mean, I don't blame her. She's got toddlers running around making a mess out of the cake that she's baking, making a mess out of the house. She's trying to make dinner, whatever. But it's just, I don't know. It's kind of funny to me. She acts like the only thing she wants is to be able to have a daughter and another child. But then she also seems like she's so exasperated by the kids that she has and, upset with the situation that she's in. So I just don't know why she thinks that.
And she acts like she wants a sister wife, but really she just wants to hire a nanny. Like,
she has a nanny.
Well, then what are we doing here?
Yeah.
This is all for Yessel. I mean, ever since he said the thing about the PowerPoint, like, I had to make this whole PowerPoint and I presented it to her and got her to say yes. Like, and then he's sitting here all episode. Does she really want this? No, she doesn't. She knows you want it. She wants a friend to help her around the house or something.
I don't even think she doesn't want a friend who's involved with her husband. So,
no.
I think, yeah.
Even when the intercourse part comes up.
I agree. The cake was bad. I mean, even before the sprinkles got dumped in her ugly, font or whatever. I mean, that's probably what a cake would look like that I could bake. I am no baker, but I would go buy a cake because I know my skills.
If you want it to be pretty, I guess,
Right. But, sometimes it's a fun activity to do with your kiddos is to bake, something that, yes, you're going to eat it, but it's not for like somebody's birthday or something,
Sure. I mean, it's a homemade cake. I mean, it is what it is.
But agreed. This is what I'm capable of. And if I was welcoming someone home in a true fashion, I would not welcome them home with it. But she did make a really nice dinner. So Yessel gets home. He's also obviously sharing with us that he's upset about what went on with Jackie and is anticipating having a talk with Dani. He gets home and she's talking about like it would have been nice to have some help, and right away he's with the sarcastic comments of,
"You could have had help.
Yeah, you botched that one. You could have had
She couldn't have had help anyway. She wasn't even answering that lady's texts."
Agreed. Yes. It doesn't seem like they were really hitting it off all that well for her to be, over cooking Yessel dinner. But anyways, I did not like the vibe going off here. I know that there was tension and not every couple, like this probably was not their best moment by any means, but I don't know. He just came across as so weird to me and kind of aggressive, not aggressive physically, but just aggressive, like really dominating the situation, even taking ownership and control over all the food that she just cooked. Like, oh, this is all mine. What are you going to eat? And that's when she brings up, how hard she works with the kids running around and da-da-da. And then she says, like, let's have the conversation when the kids are tucked away and we have full bellies and all of that. And he says something along the lines of, why don't we put the kids to bed while I eat? And so again, he's telling her, yes, he says, I eat. Yeah. And I'm like, he's telling her, like, you're not allowed to eat. Like, you're in so much trouble that you're not allowed to eat. You go put the kids to bed and I get to eat. I mean, maybe she already had her dinner while she was waiting for him or whatever, but I just did not like the way he came across in this scene. It was really weird.
It was weird. He was very, well, even when he's coming home, he's like, I'm going to have some things to address and I'm going to have a talk with her about whatever's going forward. I don't even know if she wants this. Like, he was very upset about the whole thing. Joe
was so mad that she lost that woman. He was really hurt about this lady. He wants to knock someone else up so bad. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that. I think when they have that fire conversation, he denies that, but I kind of agree. I mean, I wonder about how he's talking to these other women, especially Jackie, about his desires of having more biological children, because he's pretty open with all of us that he wants to have more biological children. But then when he's questioned directly about it, he's like, oh, we're so happy. Everything's fine. I can totally sacrifice it. So yeah, this man is manipulation station.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For sure.
So, he ends up leaving Dani essentially in tears, talking about how disappointed she is in herself and feeling like she let him down.
He diddled her in the parking lot or something at the last meeting, because didn't you screw someone last
time? I don't know those details, Days. Either one of those.
I think what they're kind of like alluding to when they keep saying like, oh, when I had the reins, it went bad, and then when she had the reins, it went the opposite way. So yeah, I think maybe, and it sounds like, if I'm remembering right from the first episode we saw them, she did mention that he slept with someone else or something. So probably, but I do wonder if that's something that could have happened in the parking.
Oh my God. I know we have all been trying to figure out what happened when he walked her out. I mean, he was smiling from ear to ear, just walking her out of there. So something went down. He had plans at least for something to go down. Anything is possible on this show. That show is like Temu version of Sister Wives. This show, yeah.
But honestly, it's way more entertaining than regular. I mean, we're going to talk about Sister Wives on the next live.
We're actually going to go live later on. So if you guys really want to stick with us for the rest of the night, we'll be live.
We'll be here. Sister Wives. This is at least giving me something. Sister Wives has been dragging butt all season.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the thing with Sister Wives is it follows the same people all the time. And so we really know who they are. And it's so it's so reminiscent. It's constantly going back. It's this really nostalgic show. It's just always going back and reliving the past. So yeah, at least this show, it feels like we're moving forward. It feels like we're meeting people and things are happening. So yeah, I do like that we're covering both. Part of me wants to have some kind of mashup. Like I really want Cody and Robin to join the show. This show.
I wish it would at least make Sister Wives even more interesting, you know. So
I think so. Yeah. So anyways, we do move on to the Davis family, to Nick, April, and Jen. And this is right after Thereasa ran away from their confrontation about her self-destructive behaviors, as Nick is calling it. I mean, they're pretty much talking about they're sort of at the end of their rope here. And April especially is getting emotional and saying that she really isn't feeling like they're all able to enjoy each other's company, to enjoy Jen's pregnancy because of all of this stuff that's going on. And Nick, again, is talking about how it's not really their problem or their fault. He's reminding them all that this has everything to do with Thereasa and not as much to do with them.
Right. I hate seeing my beautiful wife sitting here all upset. It makes me upset.
Emotional. So emotional.
Yeah, I mean, they make a point about how Danielle left them and stuff. So that's why I don't think these people are here to really mess around. They let you into the house. Yeah, they want to take things slower, but I don't really get what I get. Thereasa said on a podcast that this was mainly about her past as a ex-worker, but how much of this can really be that? It seems like this is happening every day.
Well, it sounds like, from what I remember, what she said, that she was one of those workers for like 15 years or something. She said it was, and she was busy. And so I feel like that does cause some really, really deep trauma for a lot of reasons, obviously. So, and it doesn't sound like she's done anything to address it. It's not like she has to work all really that much harder, but it's more and more likely as time goes on that she's been traumatized and that her relationships are probably messed up. And so I think, if she doesn't do anything about it, then she's going to come across very different in her relationships with other people. And I don't think all the love in the world, and I know the Davises have their weird things about them, but I truly think that they have all the love in the world. Like, if we're talking about a loving relationship with a lot of people and a household that is all focused on the same thing, even if it's just making Nick happy, they're all happily making Nick happy. And so I just think this is all the love in the world that she could have, and she still can't get it around her head that they want her to be involved. They have already made a space for her. Her child lives there. Like, there's no other thing other than having the last name that they're rejecting her from, and yet she's still putting herself in this situation. It's sad. It's really sad, because I think Thereasa would actually be a really good addition. She's kind of fun, and I feel like, I don't know, April's kind of tired, and Jen's got babies, and
it feels like she fits the mold for what they're looking for. But
and
like, part of me, I don't even know what they're looking for, because like one minute I'm like, so do you want to grow a family? Because only Jen's having babies here out of these women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other ones are not having babies.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want, like,
I think their priority is for them to all the adults to have happy relationships.
Okay.
And but I haven't heard that from them, but that's just what comes across, is that
it sounds like something like that would work more in the long run, because you look at regular Sister Wives and how their focus was always the kids. Right. That kids grow up, and then what? You got to like each other.
And kids are, I don't mean to minimize a child. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I think kids, when you have a relationship that's healthy, are kind of a factor of that. Like, we're raising a family because we're in a healthy dynamic, kind of. I think that's how they're approaching it. And I think that does work more long-term. Like Reese's family, they're doing this almost for the purpose of growing their family and having more kids than they would be able to have. And same thing with Yessel and Dani. And I think that takes the purpose away from a healthy dynamic. nobody should be growing their families if they're not focused on having a healthy, like, top of the family, like the people who are in charge. Like,
Yeah.
that should be
Yessel
the
and
most
Dani
important
is so
thing.
weird because they want to grow their family, but with sperm donors.
And with all these just, bad relationship things going on. It's just, I don't get that. Things are never perfect by any means, but yeah, I think, you should feel secure and happy.
I mean, just imagine telling a woman who is actually interested in this lifestyle, right? I'm sure they're few and far in between.
Right.
You can't have a baby with my husband, but we can get you a sperm donor. Like, there's perfectly good sperm in the house. That's free.
Over there. Yes.
Like,
oh my God. Imagine like Yessel being the sperm donor, but on the low.
I mean, I think honestly, if I was Yessel or whatever woman, honestly, even Jackie, maybe, I'm like, okay, sure, Dani. And then you just have an accident while having intercourse.
That's what I was thinking too. It's like, is Dani going to be monitoring her ovulation, or how is she really going to
stop it? Yeah. If they're intimate, there's no way to actually stop that from happening.
Right.
Unless, I mean, you can use protection. I mean, she can get on birth control, whatever the case is. But I mean, you're going to force her to get on like an IUD or something? I just don't see.
Right.
You can't really stop it if it happens on accident, it happens on accident, right? Like,
agreed.
She ain't really that bright, I guess. But anyways.
So moving on to the Johnsons, Angelica lets us know that she's going to go visit her family, and she wants to let them know. She wants to let them in on what's been going on with her and Matt for the last couple of years. And she's really reaching out more so because she's hurting, and Matt is not able to really help her because he's hurting too. So she goes.
He wouldn't help her anyways. The man does the bare minimum.
Yeah, she was like, he doesn't really know how to navigate this. I'm like, the man doesn't know how to navigate a regular day. Of course, he doesn't know how to navigate your emotions. He doesn't even have any of his own. That doesn't. I don't.
He'll say, "I'm so sad about this." Like, what?
Anyway, she goes to, I think it's to her mom's house. And they're taking shots and they're having a good time. I couldn't really figure out, and up until she had this conversation, why she was looking for such a support system. She had like 4 women there that were happy to see her, that greeted her. Nobody gave her the side eye when she walked in the door. I was like, what's going on here? Why is she so resistant to having her family involved in all of this?
Well, they apparently live across the street, some of them.
Yeah, well, she said her sister lives across the street, and that she just lives down the road. They sat down with drinks. They were going to play a game. I mean, it seems like a pretty welcoming environment up until she starts opening her mouth about what's going on. And then, yeah, I mean, this girl could not even get a word in to explain herself. Her aunt or her cousin, I don't remember this one. I mean, she was,
I think, yeah.
She was
her Aunt Pumpkin.
Yes. Crazy. Look at that.
He was like, "You're swinging. You're swinging."
I mean, I don't blame her. Of course, they're all shocked, of course. And, I would probably be a little bit animated myself if my family members were telling me this too. But it was like, she didn't stop. She just kept, she's like, "Is it a baby? Are you swinging? Is he cheating? Blah, blah, blah." Just like, at first I thought that this was her mom because of how
many
she
questions.
just took over the conversation. Yeah. It was funny and sad at the same time. Exactly.
Yeah.
It was very much funny and sad at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, her family's response was entertaining to watch and it was funny, but the conversation did end on just such a sad note with Angelica saying, essentially like, I'm brokenhearted. We have just been broken up with. And
someone's like, "Good."
Her mom said that. It was so mean. She's like, "You can be your friend, but keep her out of your bed." And I understand what the mom is saying. I understand all of her family's position, but the way that it was delivered at that time, and they didn't know that she was hurting until she said that she was hurting, but it just, there was not an ounce of compassion, there was not an ounce of the benefit of the doubt. I get that they thought that they were protecting Angelica from Matt's crazy ways, but they were not listening to Angelica, and Angelica saying that this was my decision. They just kept going in on Matt. Her mom was like, I had to pause and have my husband watch this part too because of her mom when she was like, what happened to having an affair? You would rather your son-in-law have a full-blown affair than to have an open,
relationship,
honest situation. I know it's not what you would choose, but you're telling me you'd rather choose secrets than communication. That's weird to me.
Well, it's the affair, like it sounds like she wants a friend out of this.
Yes.
Which it's so weird to me too with some of these, like her and Dani or whatever. They want some kind of friend out of this situation, which I think is a very hard ask. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. You weren't willing to compromise for your friend when she wanted you guys to move closer. And this all could have been prevented had y'all had a conversation about like what the next steps would be.
Right.
Long before she had to come to you and be like, well, can we like move or whatever? No. Kids are in school, whatever the case is. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're got to be willing to uproot your kid's life a little bit to even live this lifestyle, because you got to be able to compromise somewhere.
Sure. I mean, there's going to be a lot more needs when you have more adults and more kids. So
sure. And then this girl had to come to you with this, I think, fake boyfriend, but you know, that's just me, because she seems pretty upset for somebody who has a real boyfriend.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know how many of y'all think that, because I honestly think Shanae or whatever her name is, I think she made up that whole boyfriend story just to get this man Matt to react to something. I really do.
So I thought that at first, and I haven't completely ruled that out, but I just feel like Shanae is, I mean, I guess she's on the show, so that's probably why she's still involving herself with them. But I guess the more that time has gone on and Shanae is still coming up, and she had that date still with Matt. Now next episode, we're going to see her talking to Angelica again. So it makes me think that, you know, maybe she really did have a boyfriend, because she did actually remove herself. I feel like if she was bluffing, she would have came running back, kind of thing. But I don't know.
I mean, she did. She went on another date.
She did. She did come running back.
Until she found out that they went on a date with the witch.
Right. And then that was the last straw. And especially knowing that Angelica lied. And I, you know, I agree with that. It's like if there's no trust with the sister wife, and then knowing that, you know, the man is now interested in seeking other people and moving on, I mean, why would you stay? Why would you stick around? They've had 2-3 years to figure out how to make it work, to figure out how to get closer to each other.
Right. But on the flip side of that, if I know that I went over to their house one day, I drove a whole hour just to have a 10-minute conversation of, well, I'm seeing somebody else, then he don't want me screwing you guys anymore.
Right.
And whatever, I'm going to, you know, I need to take a few weeks and figure this out. I'm not going to be all surprised and upset when someone goes on another date. I'm already dating somebody. So I can't understand that.
I don't blame you. Miss Ann. So yeah, I mean, Angelica's going back and forth with her family. She's trying to convince them to realize that a lot of this was her idea, that this is something that she wants. They really can't seem to wrap their mind around the situation. And it does ultimately, you know, kind of end in a sad way, where Angelica just says, you know, hey, I'm getting more and more pushed away. And so I think I'm being reminded why I'm doing this. I think that this is actually, that part comes up later on.
No, because had these people been just a little bit more empathetic towards her, even though they don't agree with it, kind of like how Danielle's family is, like they don't agree with it, but they're like, sure, Jan, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, just listen for a minute. First of all, you know, let her talk, let her get out what she came to say to you all in one sentence before you start judging half the sentence. And then, ask a couple of curious questions. Right. Because you guys do have real questions, not judgmental questions. Ask the real questions. Are you involved? How much are you involved? Are you hurting? All those things, right? Like, just ask those things after she explains herself. It could have all been a much more supportive situation just in that little process part. They didn't even have to be nice still. Like, just right. in letting her talk, I think would have been a big part of it. Yes, they definitely did push her back. I think we revisit this conversation actually later. But let's pop back over to this conversation with Yessel and Dani. He's setting up a fire. It seems like this is sort of shortly after, or at least that's how it's presented. But in some ways, it was sort of giving like
a different day.
3 weeks later.
Like, could have been. Who knows? The way TLC cuts this stuff up.
Yeah, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But they do end up finally having the conversation about what happened with the dinner with Jackie. And they're kind of passive aggressive the way they talk. I really don't like listening to their conversations. It's like, just say what you feel. It's, he had brought up, that he wanted to talk about Jackie again or whatever, like the dinner with Jackie. See what really happened, which was actually a direct question. And then Dani is all, oh, so you're still upset about it. You're still feeling spicy about it. Yes. Yes,
he
you guys have yet to have this conversation.
He's been poking at you since he got home.
I don't understand. Yeah, sit down and have it. Why do you have to have this weird response to it? Anyways, they do sit down and have it. I mean, they sort through quite a bit in this conversation. I did think it was pretty productive for the two of them.
Kinda. I mean, I don't know. They talk about this no kid thing again. He asked her if this is just all defense mechanism to sabotage all their relationships. She says, well, no, I want to give you kids and blah, blah, blah. And he says to us and to her, obviously, I want more kids. Yeah. And then she says, are you fine not having more kids? And he's like, sure.
Yeah.
I think he thought in that moment like I did, like, well, accidents happen.
So, I mean, he says that he wants more kids, but then when it's presented to him of like, is it unfair to you to not have more kids? I think he can't necessarily go that far. Like, he could say, yes, I would like to have more kids, but I don't think he can hold judgment or blame and say what you're doing is unfair. Although I think he does have a leg to stand on when they're trying to ask another adult woman who might want kids to come into the relationship. And now they both share a desire to have kids. I think that is a little bit of a lot. I think that's a lot to ask. I think that Yessel is right in being suspicious that Dani is trying to maybe not sabotage the situation, but really dwindle down their potential dating pool. Mm-hmm. He wants sex more than kids. I mean, if he's willing to actually deal with this arrangement, I think that's probably part of it. I mean, some people talk about the community and whatever, but I haven't really heard a lot of that, especially from Yessel. Although, to give him credit, I love the way that he laid down sort of the boundaries, I guess. There's probably a better word, but I mentioned this earlier when Dani had mentioned, like, well, it's kind of her problem, the way that she took the conversation, that she was surprised by that. And Yessel said, no, it's not her problem. It's our problem. And I was really impressed with that. I think that that's something that shows some leadership in a family and shows that he might actually be capable at some point of leading a family of more than one person, because his priorities are right in that everybody has to be involved. I think he might, be in this for whatever kind of reason. But I really did actually admire and respect the way that he corrected that. Like, you're not just going to say this is someone else's problem, because that is not how Dani would want another wife to be talking about her. Oh, well, she doesn't want a girl. She doesn't want you to have a biological kid. Well, that's her problem. Like, could you imagine? And she would want Yessel to say, no, that's not her problem. It's our problem that we all have to care about. So, yeah, I think he did a good job here.
And when he also said, I think we need to do this more together instead of you take the reins or I take the reins. Like that conversation with Jackie should have been an all three of them conversation.
Yeah, I think that was really obvious to all of us on the outside. But I think considering their history, I think that they did need to sort of let them each take turns. Like Yessel sort of effed it up. And so I think Dani sort of had to F it up. And they seemed really happy to be equal or on the same playing field now. So I think that kind of happened. But yeah, totally obvious to all of us on the outside that they both need to be involved. Joe says, I think when Jackie brought up, when can I screw your husband, that her and Yessel were already talking intimately. I agree. I really would like to know what the conversations are with Yessel and these other women, because I think he presents himself differently. My suspicion is that he presents himself as somebody who wants more kids and wants more kids openly. He presents himself as somebody who is more sexual than he is with his wife. Yeah, I mean, I think he probably has a little bit of game behind the scenes. I don't know.
I think so.
I know you think that, Dave.
That's one of my favorite theories.
That's why Dani felt threatened enough to wear that bikini dress. You're absolutely right. Ain't no question about that one. Something happened in that parking lot. Something had to have. And a bikini dress is exactly how you describe that.
Yeah, imagine. I'm assuming like this is just a thought, but like him, like to go off of what Joe was saying that they had already been talking intimately. He probably was like, yeah, maybe next time we're all out with my wife, like, you know, kind of put the feelers out there.
Right, exactly.
Because he didn't look shocked when she brought up the question.
Right.
For sure. I do think that he is doing this for, I mean, I think a lot of the men are doing this for that kind of reason, especially like you're not doing this for religious reasons, like actual religious reasons, not Garrick's religion. I think this is more of a how many can I have kind of thing.
Yeah, how many women can I collect? Especially because at the end of this, they do, they agree that they need to be more equal about it and that they need to have this conversation up front. He suggests even putting it in their bio of their dating profile, which I think is a great idea. Yeah, I mean, I think what did he say? It was like hot couple done with kids but seeking sister wife. Is that
sure
the blurb he wanted to give himself?
I mean, a lot of these people's problems could be solved if they either hired a nanny, made a new friend, or like whatever.
Has a nanny.
I know.
Why can't the nanny just hook up with Yessel once in a while? Problem solved.
Well, for the Williamsons, they just need a nanny. You know, for the Johnsons, they just need to make more friends. For these people, they need to make more friends, I think, as well.
I mean, the Williamsons need a surrogate and a nanny. They need a
surrogate nanny. Well, actually, they don't, because we see now that homegirl is pregnant as we speak.
Pregante.
So these people keep telling me they can't have kids, and then all of a sudden they're in my news feed on Facebook. Oh, just here to announce our pregnancy.
Yeah, liar.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of the liars, we are back to them. We're wrapping up the date over drinks and Jenga and lunch. And Reese tells us he's going to excuse himself because he does not want to be part of this conversation. I think we reviewed this conversation for the most part, but the details of it was that they both asked their big questions to each other. I did like how both women validated each other, and at the same time, we're sharing with each other, like, it's okay to have these worries, and also said, to the best of their ability, trying to reassure that that's not how they see their future together and that's not what their intentions are. There has to not be a lot of trust involved right now, so it's probably really hard to fully believe that. But there's also no reason, I think, for either of these people to feel like mistrustful or distrustful, whatever that word is. So I think it was overall a pretty good conversation. I'm glad. I'm always a fan of open communication. I'm glad that Randy showed up and had the conversation, even if it went poorly, which it didn't. It went well. So I think it's cool. They're gonna keep this going.
Right.
I also thought this was going to be a fight, Joe. I know that they like to sort of tease us a little bit in the teasers, and it seemed like it was kind of heated. And these were confrontational questions. They were being really direct about what their worries were, but both of them responded in a really open, warm, validating way. And I think that goes a long way when you're having hard conversations like these. So, I mean, kudos to these women. They've never done this before, neither one of them, and they did pretty good.
Kudos to them.
Yes. Snaps. We'll
see how long it lasts.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I haven't. I mean, I know they have to keep these things secret, but Reese just showed a video, I think, yesterday of their family shoveling things like that out in the snow, and no Randy to be seen, at least. Are you with us still? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. I don't think anything's come of this sister wife scenario.
Right. I don't think so either. But they are like we are. They're happy that they can have this chat, and the food arrives. And so Reese, followed his nose to the food and let everyone know that he was actually quite nervous about the whole situation. He didn't know how everything was going to go. Like Joe and I, he thought this was going to be a fight. He thought they were going to have to wrap up their food and get the heck out of Dodge. So he was pleasantly surprised that he could come back and plan their third date with them all together. And they're going to go to a trampoline park, which isn't it time for Reese and Randy to have a date alone?
I think so. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. You're frozen.
Okay. Yeah, I know my screen's frozen, but yeah, I think so. I mean, but their first date wasn't really alone, so I wonder where he'll take her next. I bet he'll take her to the zoo.
I mean, yeah, they want to stick with this children's theme for some strange reason. We got the park, we got trampoline park. They're even playing Jenga right now. So
yeah, he's gonna take her to like a kids play.
Yeah, the zoo
at an elementary school.
Maybe a children's museum will be.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, "Oh, your kids in here?" No.
Yeah, just us adults.
Just us.
So we are wrapping up the scene now with Angelica, and she is pleading to her family to please listen. I think Anne dropped. She'll be back in a flash, I'm sure. But she's pleading with her family just to please listen to her about her involvement in wanting to be involved in seeking a sister wife. And sometimes Anne and I try to add her to the stage at the same time, and then we kick her out.
Okay.
Sorry. So yeah, she wants them to know I did this. I helped him create the profile. I liked all of the women for him, and I was part of this whole thing.
It's me.
Yes. And so
very wicked. It's me.
So the mom's not buying it. She doesn't care. She says, "Why do you have to bring this biatch in? You got me, you got your sister, you got this whole family as a support system." And Angelica says what Angelica needs to say. She says, "I know that y'all are here, but listen to yourself right now. None of this feels kind. None of this feels supportive. So why do you think I feel like I need somebody else?"
You guys are just throwing me in the arms of another woman.
Just right into an affair partner, just straight over there. So yeah, I mean, and this is true. At the end of the day, at the end of the conversation, Angelica lets us know that she recognizes that maybe this wasn't the best time to tell her family. And at first I sort of questioned that. I'm like, no, you're hurting. You should talk to your family. But it's a lot of information for them to take in, and then to expect for them to immediately be capable of supporting you at the same time, I think is a lot to ask of them. However, I think when it comes to your family members, you should find a way to like stretch beyond your capabilities sometimes, especially your daughter when she is hurting. So like Miss Ann said, I mean, Angelica is just running straight into the arms of Shanae, and we're gonna see that play out on the next episode for her. So moving on to the Garricks. Obviously, this is no mystery here. Lorena is definitely pregnant, had her baby back in July. And as we talked about in the beginning of this episode, if you missed it, feel free to scroll to the front. But is now part of or involved in an alleged DV situation against Garrick, like with Garrick being the perpetrator. It doesn't seem like any hands were laid on anybody, but he was preventing her from being able to contact people during an emergency situation. We have a lot of details. We talked about it at length in the beginning. So, like I said, scroll back. But even in this situation, I mean, you can kind of tell, like Anne and I have been picking up on the whole language situation, and if it's there for like it's that way on purpose. And even when she's having this pregnancy test, it's Lorena is talking, or Danielle is talking to Lorena as if this 28-year-old woman has never taken or seen or doesn't know what a pregnancy test looks like. I know that we're in the US, and so maybe pregnancy tests are different in other countries, but I think in general, like they're pretty much the same. I would think, there's not 100 different ways to do it. You test somebody's
the stick will tell you.
Right, like that, unless you're doing a blood test and going to the doctor, the only other way to figure that out is through your urine to have that.
Isn't this just hormone. Danielle's way of being condescending? I mean,
that's what I mean. It's so stupid. She's P 1 2 3 4 5 pregnant 2 not pregnant 1. It's just every
time I hear them talk to Lorena, I just roll my eyes because I'm like, you guys sound stupid.
So stupid. Like, and you shouldn't be
sister, sister.
Yeah, you shouldn't be teaching her English this way. This woman's gonna be walking around speaking English like some kind of toddler, discombobulated lady.
Yeah, that's how, like, I mean, even kids speak full sentences. Like,
I'm saying.
Or learn, like, it just drives me nuts that these people won't even try to learn anything in Spanish.
Right.
Like, it's all by design.
Yes, it's all intentional. Somehow these idiots figured out how to control another human being. So
I'm sad for her.
Yes. So they close out the episode with Lorena and Danielle in separate confessionals, both pretty much saying the same thing, that everything is happening really quickly, that they're really nervous for what the results of this pregnancy test could be. If she is pregnant, because that's really going to change a lot of things for Danielle in particular, because she's never been to this point with Garrick in their relationship where he has another woman pregnant. And for Lorena, obviously, because she's only been in the US a really short time, doesn't know English, and wasn't anticipating getting pregnant quite this quickly. Although I don't know. Okay.
I mean, you're not using protection, girl, and I know Garrick's not,
Right. Joe says to be stuck with these people with a child is sick. Yeah, it totally is. And even Danielle at the very end, says as much too. Like, we're tied to her for life. There's no going back. So there's obviously gonna be more to come with the Garricks in real life in real time. So we'll keep following that ourselves and share that as things come up. But there's obviously more to come in this season. I don't know how many episodes they typically cover. Does anyone that's watching remember the average, season length? I mean,
I see like 15, but I don't remember. Let me look.
Because if we're talking Sister Wives, which I doubt we are because those are unusually long, but then we're only like halfway through, right? But if we're talking typical seasons, that's like 12 to 14. We could almost be done.
Yeah, I think that it's more like a typical season, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me pull it up on my Discovery Plus.
I mean, I don't quite know what we're working up to at this point. If it's not this pregnancy, I don't know what else would be like the season arc because there's no one else coming in that we know of from anywhere else in any other relationships. A lot of these relationships have actually ended
around 15 because season 4 had 14.
Okay.
Season 5, let's see, had 13. So between I think 13 to 15 episodes.
Okay.
Which means we're getting close to the end of
we are. Yeah. But yeah, we will be covering it obviously for as long as it's around, and obviously at this point, you know, if there's major updates, especially with the Garricks, we'll be probably hopping on and having a quick recording or live stream about those things as they come. If we're not filming the show at that time, so we do get a little bit of a next time. Thereasa is about to be met in the garage with her boxes. I'm assuming this means that the Williamsons are kicking her out.
I mean, they packed up all her boxes.
I know.
Imagine coming home and there's this like after you had, you know, your little smoke or whatever she was doing driving around. Because I think everyone's even in the same outfits.
Well, no, it looks like it's the next day. It's like
the next morning,
Yeah, I know Theresa's in a different outfit. I mean, maybe they all went to bed and woke up in their same outfit after they packed her stuff up. But I mean, she had a whole room. Her child had either a room, you know, that was being shared or their own room or, you know, whatever. I guess she didn't have a whole room because they all sleep in that one single bed, but whatever. She has stuff there. Her child has stuff there. I think it's weird when people pack people's stuff for them. Maybe that's me.
Because how do you know everything that's theirs?
And I'm sorry, but like I myself, I'm still gonna want to go in the house and make sure, you know, my stuff isn't where I left it. And things are not on such bad terms that she can't walk into that house and pack her own things.
Yeah, and then what'd you do with her kid and her kid's stuff?
Right. They'd take her child and deport her if they could.
Bless.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just me. That's my personal thing. I'm not a real big fan of packing someone's stuff for them. I feel like that's kind of disrespectful. But I mean, at this point, they don't owe Thereasa anything. Thereasa has had lots of chances to sit and talk with them about what's going on. And apparently she just gets up and goes and drives around instead. So looks like they're going to confront her with her boxes. Maybe they only have a couple of boxes and they're trying to just scare her, but I think that would be really stupid and mean. So I think they're going to kick her out. We're also going to see Reese and BJ discuss building a commune of some kind. They're looking at land. They're thinking about where houses might go and this and that. And Reese continuously is asking BJ now if she's going to be okay with certain situations.
I know now it's, are you good with this? Are you good that I'm going to be over there? Are you good when I work in her garden? Are you going to be good when I crazy?
It's like they're going to have their first kiss and Reese going to be like, have to call her right away. Are you good that I kissed her? Do you want me to FaceTime you? Do you want to see it?
Do you want to watch?
Oh, they're kicking her out. I agree, Joe. I'm always like optimist.
Nick can't even think in there anymore. They're definitely
he's all like, this cannot be the mode that my house stays in.
No, he can't even think, and that's his one job other than helping these kids.
He can't have his wives be emotional because then they're not feeling, you know, froggy.
Yeah, when's he gonna educate her on thermodynamics if she's always walking out?
True. Maybe he should learn a little bit about like self-esteem and trauma and stuff. Maybe that would help him understand.
Yeah, you know, that would be a good book for him to read, is like some of these like self-help books.
Yeah, because then he could educate his wives, and then you know, then they could really. She wouldn't even need therapy. She
what a freaking thought! We I wonder if there's a way we can contact him with this information. Like,
yeah, we should send him a couple of books.
We should, because then he'd get a little bit more out of those books and maybe teaching his wives those coping skills instead of about thermomechanics and biology and science.
Although, he studies systems. I think that that's kind of cool because, systems, there is a lot of systems theory that plays in with family and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he could learn, a thing or two maybe about family systems that would lend itself real well to his whole base of knowledge right now.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're also going to see Angelica meet with Shanae in the next episode. Shanae obviously seems a little upset. Why wouldn't she be upset? Angelica done lied to her about the witch.
Mm-hmm.
So did he go to college? I don't know if he went to college. I know he's a thinker. So his current occupation is to think. It's not to be a father, although he does seem to be a good father. It's not to be
he does watch the kids.
Yeah, it's not to be a homemaker, although it does seem that he makes a home well. But literally,
he'd be teaching the kids the same things he teaches the wives.
Yes, yeah. That is what they want him to do, though. They want him to think. I mean, April, anytime you ask April about it in a confessional, it moves her to tears how happy she is that man has time to think. So I don't know. And
he is the caretaker for the kids during the day, but the man doesn't drive. So hopefully them kids don't need to go to the hospital.
Right. We're hauling an Uber for the hospital. So
yeah, he wants to sit in the back seat, too, when they drive him places, right?
Yes, he says it's presidential.
Yeah. I have like a love-hate relationship with Nick because where I think a lot of what he does is ridiculous. I find him so funny that like I'm not mad at it. Like I want him to be steady.
He's a friendly guy, he doesn't come across like with Garrick, I can't tell if he's stupid or if he's manipulative. Like Nick just comes across as himself. He comes across as authentic. Like, take it for what it is. This is what we got. I think I can go all night long. I can think all day long. Take it or leave it. Like,
I know. I like him, and I hate that I like him because I'm like, but at the same time, I'm impressed because not many men have this setup. So. A lot of women stay at home.
So in a plural marriage, I would join Nick's family if I needed to be in a plural marriage.
Possible. I could not sleep in a bed with that many people. But.
No, I would have a separate arrangement. We can meet in the hallway at night, but I need a bedroom.
Yeah, I'm not dealing all you people.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
But I do actually, Days, to answer your question, I do think he went to college because I think that's where he met the first wife.
I wonder if that's searchable.
But I don't remember because I haven't watched that episode in a while. But I think he did at least partake in college. Now, does he have a degree? I don't know. Does he utilize that degree? Absolutely not. So yeah, I think that they met in college, but I'm not sure if he finished college, and if he did finish college, if he has a degree or not.
He worked as a college professor, according to Facebook.
There you go. Always been a thinker. That's crazy. He went from being a college professor to just a thinker. I wonder how that was working. I mean,
according to one lady on a Facebook post. Let me look.
Oh, okay. Then that might not be real.
Yeah.
I can't see him being a professor. I think
who is Nick? Okay, this is on In Touch Weekly. Okay. Let's see what they have to say.
Like, what did he do? I'm like not mad at him for whatever he's doing, though. I think that's funny.
I have to disable my ad block.
I was more shocked that like Jennifer, I think she is the second wife. She was like 20 when she met them.
Yeah. Yes.
That's more shocking to me is how young she was.
Nick has described himself as a trophy husband in season 4.
He did, yeah. Yep, I think that's how he was introduced because he was introduced in season 4.
Yeah, he says and this is how he talks about driving too. If you look at the chessboard, the king doesn't really move much.
Yep, it's the queens.
The
Do all
queen's
the
got
work.
all the power. The king just holds court. He is something else. That's how he sets up his life, according to a chessboard, not according to religion.
Yeah, he's got all these kinds of ideas. He reminds me of your ex Brandon in a lot of ways, just the way he can talk around things.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, he's very smooth.
Very smooth. Very smooth. He knows what he's saying.
I'm looking for education here. I mean, this is a pretty detailed article.
I think it'll say that him and her met at college or in high school. I don't remember which one. But she has a kid that was like 17 or something at the time of season 4. So he's got a much older child. I mean, he got to be in his 20s or something now.
Nick's family began when he met his first wife, April, who he began dating in college.
Yep,
Jennifer joined the pair after they met at work.
After April and her met at work. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Nick was not working.
Nick doesn't work.
I don't think Nick's been working for a long time.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so there you have it. He did go to college. Who's to know how long and what, if he's got a degree or not, or if it's an associate's or what level of degree he has.
I'm still reading this article, but I think that they've moved past his background into other things.
All we know is that if he has one, he ain't utilizing it. So
right.
Like another Christmas.
All right. Well, we got Sister Wives to talk about here pretty soon. So everybody take a quick bathroom break and join us back here probably in about 15 minutes. And we're going to be back to talk about the latest episode of Sister Wives. We got to get that in before the actual next episode airs pretty soon here.
Probably in like 2-3 hours or something, but yeah.
Yes. So thank you all for watching. We had quite a few views in our live, so we're happy that you're all here. We love commenting and interacting with you guys, so keep the comments coming in our next live. If you're new here, please subscribe. We do this all the time. Sometimes we're live with Seeking Sister Wives. Sometimes we do pre-recorded episodes. It just kind of depends on what we have going on. So please click the like button on your way out. Click the share button, copy the link, do all the things that we love for you to do. You will be there. We will see you days. So yeah, give us about 15 minutes and we'll reset here. So keep an eye on the channel. Don't forget, this is a good time to make sure that you have your notifications turned on, the little bell button, all of that. So yeah, thank you all and we'll see you soon.
Yep. See you in a few minutes. Reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna. And we're going to take a small break. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.